It's been a volatile month here in crypto, and the purpose of this video is to give you an exact time frame as to when I believe we could see those face-melting gains that I made a video about just yesterday. In fact, there were lots of mixed emotions. Emotions are running hot. As some people said that they held firm and strong, no problem, they're used to this, and others were commenting that their portfolio was bleeding and seemed like it would never end. What I want to do is help you zoom out a little bit to see the bigger picture and one very important signal that's fired off that has just changed everything. Now that's interesting, seeing as how the current volatility has largely come from something that has absolutely nothing to do with crypto. It's the tariff talk that has rattled the markets, spooked the markets, and created this sort of uncertainty that now people have decided that it's a risk-off environment. And it actually has nothing to do with crypto. In fact, we have the promise of the ushering in of a golden age from the White House with Trump's full backing and blessing. The only thing that has changed fundamentally is for the bullish, for the better, as we have pro-crypto regulation, we have clarity, we have a president who's behind our industry, and yet we're seeing the worst sell-off in crypto history, worse than FTX, COVID, and those were much darker times. And while retail has largely been panicking in this biggest sell-off in crypto history, institutions are making moves behind the scenes. We really need to pay attention. Now, they missed that entire huge altcoin boom that we just had, and they're now getting a second chance to get in at ground entry level, right? So there were just 3 XRP ETF filings in the last 24 hours by major institutions. We'll go over that too in this episode, but now is not the time to be panic selling. In my opinion, it's the time to be focused on your next move so that you don't miss what's about to come. And all of that also on the backs of the potential Fed pivot in which the Fed will start to cut rates. I mean, things couldn't be getting more bullish. I started this YouTube up again in late December, and I titled this series of the playlist 200 Days to Success, right? Because these 200 days, I knew they would be fundamental, pivotal for your portfolio and for your future as we start to witness this generational wealth creation. We are in the 4th phase of the bull run, which we'll also discuss in this episode according to Steve from Crypto Crew University. I want to give you a time frame, and all of that time frame lines up to the fact that the next 100 days of your life are pivotal, crucial, and now is the time to stay dialed in, locked in, laser focused, eyes on the prize, because you can truly change your life. And I mean that. So these next 100 days is where it all is going down. And this one Bitcoin signal, the hash ribbon signal, has a lot to do with it, apart from all the other confluence we like to find to give us an idea of what we could expect. So to give you an idea, the capitulation signal has just fired off on the Bitcoin hash ribbons, which will soon print a buy signal, which has historically led to massive rallies. Now, just to give you a few stats before we get into this episode, we're talking Bitcoin could rally from now until the next 100 days of the next 3 months up to $170,000 approximately. And what would that do to your altcoins? That kind of atmosphere. We are going to witness those face melting gains according to this signal. And I want you to be ready for it. I'm going to give you the price that we should not go below if this Bitcoin capitulation signal plays out like the 20 signals in the past, and a few other stats that could actually help calm the nerves, help you zoom out, chill out, and take advantage of this next leg, because I believe it will be a massive one. So stay tuned for that in this episode and more. My name is Megan Nilsson, aka Crypto Megan, coming to you from sunny southern Spain. Happy Friday, everyone. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments. We are all in this together, and we've now got 100 days to success. Maybe I should change the name of this playlist. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, before we get into the Bitcoin hash ribbon buy signal and capitulation signals, which are huge indicators as to where we could be headed, I want to start with a chart from Capital Mindset, the premier trading and investing group. Guys, the link is in the description below. Use CryptoMegan10 for 10% off 6 months or more membership. This will change your life. And as I said, these next 100 days are pivotal to your success. So it's important to be dialed in. And there couldn't be a better investment than in your education and in the best setups that are out there. Well, these guys are scanning the markets 24/7. Absolutely amazing. So this is a chart that they just made of Bitcoin on the 30-minute, an Adam and Eve bottoming pattern that is forming at the minute. And we are currently right down here at the bottom of this one. The neckline is at $102,500 and the measured move is to $113,000. Now that just to begin with, I believe we're going to start picking back up steam from here and that things are going to be looking up. And we'll get into that in this episode as to just how much and what the exact timeframes could be and what are the statistics of these hash ribbon signals that have been so powerful in the past. So here we have just in Trump's World Liberty Fi began buying ONDO 12 minutes ago. So I'm telling you, as all retail panics, and those of you who watch Alex Becker, the YouTuber, he'll know, I agree with his sentiment in that, this has been largely exaggerated, this sell-off, and that, although we don't have the best liquidity conditions right now, as we haven't seen the Fed pivot just yet, we have all of the signals, all the bullishness in the world as a foundational pillar to blast off from that we have never had before in this space. So these big institutions are making moves right in front of us as we panic. Well, I say we, I know a lot of you on this channel, you do your best to tune out the noise and stick to your guns and zoom out, but retail is panicking and watching all this doom and gloom headlines while all of the big whales scoop everything up. Now, just check this out. Bitcoin long-term haulers spent supply issuance and inflation. So Bitcoin supply keeps shrinking and big whales are accumulating unprecedented amounts of Bitcoin while everybody panics. Let that sink in. And finally, we've had these 3 ETFs filed in the last 24 hours, Bitwise, Wisdom Tree, and 21 shares. Big things coming for XRP. All you XRP bulls, your time in the sun is coming. I saw one guy comment yesterday that his XRP seems to go down and down and never stop. I mean, that is one of the ones that has held up better in this market. And I see very bullish horizons for XRP. I hold XRP. I'm excited, you guys. I'm not immune to the emotion and being scared and feeling that tinge in your stomach when your portfolio's down, but I think we've got to remain optimistic and remember where we are in the cycle. And that's why these videos are so important. Now, the Bitcoin hash ribbons indicator. This is the chart, and this is now where we are. And we have just flashed the capitulation signal from the miners. I'm going to go over exactly what that means. So after a temporary dip in the Bitcoin hash rate, we're about to see one of Bitcoin's most historically profitable buy signals print again. The Bitcoin hash ribbons indicator could be about to signify the start of a massive Bitcoin rally. And let's get into this. So I asked ChatGPT to simplify it. So you guys, those of you who are wondering, what are the hash ribbons? Well, this is it. Hash ribbons are indicators used to identify Bitcoin miner capitulation and potential buy opportunities. It's based on 2 moving averages of Bitcoin's hash rate. So the short term and the long term, the 30-day and the 60-day miner capitulation signal. The capitulation signal is when miners start to dump because they are no longer profitable. Okay, miner capitulation occurs when short-term hash rates fall below long-term hash rates, indicating miners are shutting down operations, often due to lower profitability. This typically happens during Bitcoin price declines, bear markets, or after halving events when miner rewards are decreased. So why does it matter? Weak miners, those with higher operational costs, shut down and sell their Bitcoin to cover their costs. And this selling pressure can cause short-term price dips and usually marks the final phase of a downtrend. Here we go. Hash ribbon buy signal. A buy signal is generated when the short-term hash rate crosses above the long-term hash rate and after a capitulation event. This is often accompanied by a bullish price move. Good. That's what we're waiting for. So we've got the capitulation. We're waiting for the buy signal. That is our green light. Go ahead. Why is this bullish? It signals that miner selling pressure has decreased. Surviving miners are profitable again, stabilizing Bitcoin's network security, and historically it precedes major bull runs. Yes. So let's go over some statistics from one of my favorite analysts in the space together with Capital Mindset, Eric Crown from Crown's Crypto Cave. I'm going to go back to this chart and then I'm going to read you some of these statistics that Crown gave to give us an indication as to what's happened in previous iterations, right? This signal, this capitulation and buy signal have had extraordinary hit rates on the statistics of what happens next. So let's go over some stats. Out of 20 times, 17 have been the major trending high or low for Bitcoin, never to be revisited ever again, and more importantly, never closed below. So this is really important. Like, actually, one other stat that I want to point out before moving on is 10 out of those 20 iterations, the capitulation signal has marked the actual low. So a 50% chance that we've actually already seen the low. So usually, we're basing these stats on after the buy signal is fired, but a lot of times this capitulation signal is a big indicator. So then the projected buy signal to come after this capitulation signal, which came about 4 days ago, is within 3 weeks, 22 days. Now that's on the aggressive side, as Crown pointed out. The average time for that blue buy signal to fire off after capitulation is about 64 days. So we can see the next buy signal print anywhere within the next month to 2 months. Let's just put it like that, right? And then that's when the fireworks start. So what is the average move after the buy signal is fired off? 62%. If Bitcoin is around 100K at the time of speaking, I mean, that would put it up at $162,000. Which is phenomenal, right? And the average days it takes to play out is 41 to 42 days. So if we're saying here that the signal is going to flash within the next 64 days and the average amount of days is 40, I mean, here we are. Again, another point of confluence, the next 100 days. The lowest gain printed after one of these signals is 39%. And that's phenomenal in itself. That's about 139.40K for Bitcoin. And that is before the first major correction, if not the final, when we go into a bear market after that. But I believe we'll have a correction and potentially continue if we maintain that momentum. So this is all happening supposedly within the next 3 months and before the first major correction, whatever that may be. Okay, so this is bullish, so bullish in and of itself. And if that capitulation signal is actually marking the low, then we should maintain above 93,500 according to Eric Crown, and that would maintain our upward bullish momentum as well. Now, since the blue buy signal has not flashed yet, we could go a little bit lower. Time will tell, but basically within this next month to 2 months max of price action, we should see some very bullish turnaround. And I know what you're thinking. Do I have to wait 2 months for this market to pick back up some steam? I don't know. I can't promise that. Crown says it could fire off even within 22 days. Even so, patience, guys, patience. This will happen. We're in a very bullish environment. Maybe that could line up with the Fed making a pivot as well. I mean, there's so much confluence to this. So this is really, really, really amazing. Here's a few other charts. Bitcoin minor capitulation. A new capitulation event has just started. We all know what it means. When a hash ribbon buy signal eventually follows, a lot can happen between then and now, but we are entering a window of opportunity. That is exactly right. A window of opportunity. When the hash ribbon indicator flashes a buy signal on the monthly chart, it typically leads to a massive, massive pump. I mean, here it is, flashing right in front of our face, right in front of our nose. Like, Bitcoin hash ribbons indicate a Bitcoin local bottom. And this is all very bullish, guys. I mean, I'm very excited about this. And, between then and now is the time to make a strategy. If you still don't have one, assess your current portfolio, make any changes, and go get as much cash as you humanly can. Not financial advice, just my opinion, what I'm trying to do, because I see this as a massive opportunity. And the reason why we want to look to Bitcoin is because obviously Bitcoin is the star of the show right now. And if Bitcoin's going to do well, most likely altcoins will follow at some point. We'll get that altcoin season we have been waiting for. I've got a few other things to show you before the end of this video. I'm trying to make it as short and sweet as possible today. So the next video clip is from Steve from Crypto Crew University, who measures a lot based off Fibonacci levels, which are strong trending market foundational levels. And he says that we are currently now in phase 4 of the bull run, and which typically lasts for 200 days. We are less than 100 days into it. So also lining up with the fact that the next 100 days are going to be absolutely crucial. And the top of the range until the next Fibonacci level happens to be around $170,000. Confluence with what Eric Crown has come up with and lots of other points of confluence pointing to the fact that that could be somewhere within the range of this next pump. So let's have a look.
We have the prior, not one top, two tops, and multiple months in this cycle, all representing resistance at the same exact level. And we just broke it. This is our support now. And if we break that, we have big trouble on our hands. However, what we're supposed to do if we don't break this area is we're supposed to rally to the blue line. That's what we've done so far in every single cycle, because we are into phase 4 as we speak, and we are less than 100 days into phase 4. So if we are going to repeat history, this is what Bitcoin is going to do next. If we break the red line, top is in. If not, it should be in the cards that we have the opportunity to rally up to $176,000.
And then finally, you've got creators like Virtual Bacon, who is also a colleague, and I really like his analysis and long-term view, who says Ethereum could outperform Bitcoin by 2x in 2025, fueled by ETF inflows. Since November 5th, ETFs have added $5 billion to the market. So he also goes over his analysis about why statistically, historically, Ethereum has had a very green first 6 months of the year going into May. And then from there, it's much better to hold Bitcoin. But we're looking purely on Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin and when Ethereum typically does its best. So the sell in May and go away for ETH is especially true, especially when we're looking at the ETH Bitcoin ratio. As you can see here in this chart, it is majorly green during that period. So why be bullish on ETH? The ETF inflows, seasonality effect, potential Fed pivot that we've spoken about, DeFi-friendly regulation, and the fact that it should outperform Bitcoin by 2x. So institutions are looking at ETH, and ETH has an active open ETF. And, if they're allowed to start staking and implementing staking again, getting a yield on that will be very profitable. And we all need to be betting on Ethereum if we want the altcoin space to win overall, because it is, a big deal. I am very bullish on Ethereum. I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's going anywhere. And I'm excited to see what will happen there. Eric Trump just actually came out and said that now is a good time to be adding Ethereum to a portfolio. What does he know that we don't? I don't know. Institutions are making moves, guys. That's all I want to be on your radar. I'm still massively bullish on my altcoins. Shout out to XRP, Cardano, Theta, Sui, XLM, so many more, HBAR. I mean, the list goes on and on. Solana, of course, I'll do an altcoin video, but I just want to make sure you understand where we're at in the grand scheme of things and that you don't mess this up. All right. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Happy Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow.